Hello, folks. It's Matt English here in the Toronto office. I'm with Esri Canada alongside Ming-Si Ho, and we're here for the next hour to talk about building cross-platform native apps with a very cool piece of technology called AppStudio for ArcGIS. We will do our best to answer any questions. I think what we'll do is, because we have a fair bit of material, we'll answer the questions towards the end of the presentation. You can go ahead and type in your questions in the Q&A panel, and just make sure to sort of ask all panelists, and that way all of us will see the questions, and we'll do our very best to answer them towards the end of the presentation. Okay, so what we're going to cover in today's agenda, we're going to start super simple, the least amount of moving parts, to show you how to build native apps that can go into the app stores, either Google Play or the Apple App Store. Okay, so we're going to start real simple. What do you need to know to get your maps into native apps into app stores? The second section of the presentation, we're going to cover AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard. So this increases the capabilities of what we're doing in the first point. We'll give you a nice overview of what you can do with AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard. And then the final section we'll cover, if you're a developer and you feel like you need to kind of extend the out-of-the-box stuff, we'll give you a little bit of a developer's perspective on AppStudio. Okay, so three things, starting super simple and diving a little deeper as we go through the presentation. Okay. So let's just a couple of slides on what is AppStudio for ArcGIS. All right, so AppStudio for ArcGIS is essentially an app builder, kind of like the web app builder for ArcGIS. The web app builder is used to build web apps. AppStudio is used to build native apps. The interesting thing about it is you can build one app and deploy it to a variety of different platforms. And this is probably its most groundbreaking feature is the fact that you can manage one app but build deployments for all of those different platforms that you see in this diagram. So why would you build a native app? Three main reasons. The first one is not super compelling, in my opinion, to provide the best user experience. Sure, but you can also build web applications that run in browsers that provide really dynamite user experiences as well. So I would say first point, not incredibly compelling. But the second and third, obviously, so the number two would be, well, you actually need to connect to local mapping data, and you will not have a guaranteed internet connection. So the data needs to be local on the device, whether it be a laptop, whether it be an iPhone, whether it be an Android tablet. So that's a big reason why you would look at building native apps. And then the third is an obvious one. If you feel like you need a presence in the app stores, then native obviously is the way to go. If you don't need a presence in the app stores and you have an internet connection, I would probably lead with a browser-based application, okay? But for points number 2 and 3, native is the way to go. AppStudio for ArcGIS comes in 2 flavors. One is called Basic and one is called Standard. The one on the left is Basic, and Ming-Si is going to demo that in her first demonstration. And that's about going to the AppStudio website and creating apps from one of 3 templates and building a set of installation files and putting them in the app stores. AppStudio Standard is everything that you get with Basic, plus it gives you development tools if you want to extend a particular application, as well as AppStudio Desktop, which allows you to do quite a bit more configuration than if you were with the AppStudio Basic level. Okay, so 2 flavors. So let's talk a little bit about AppStudio for ArcGIS Basic. The good news is that you get this with your named user account. So you don't have to pay any additional fees. If you have a named user account with the ArcGIS platform, you can use AppStudio for ArcGIS Basic. With that named user, it allows you to build public-facing mapping apps from a series of predefined application templates on the AppStudio website. And Minxie will demonstrate that in short order, okay? So that's AppStudio Basic. A bunch of good news there. You can start to build native apps from your maps as long as you have a named user with ArcGIS. So the steps to build, the steps to actually get this to go is you're going to create an app from a template on the website. Step number 2 is create some installation files. Step number 3 is take those installation files and publish them to either of the two main app stores. So we're gonna demonstrate that full workflow. One piece I do want to mention is AppStudio Player. This is something that you can download from the app stores right now. Once you build an AppStudio app, you can consume it inside the Player application. So if you just go to your app store on your phone or your tablet and look for AppStudio Player, you can download this and run your apps for essentially for testing purposes to get a look and feel for how the app's going to behave on a particular device. So that's the Player. And we are going to walk you through in just a second what you need to do to go from a map that you have in ArcGIS Online through to getting that app up, in this case, on the Google Play Store, right? And in order to do that, in addition to having your named user account with ArcGIS Online, you need to do one thing. And this is for Google Play, not Apple. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But what you do is to get it into the Google Play Store, you sign up for a Google account, and you pay a $25 lifetime fee to be a member of Google Play. And from that point on, you're good to publish apps from AppStudio into Google Play. So what Minxie is going to show is the steps needed, the minimum amount of steps to take a map that you have in ArcGIS and get it into Google Play, just like the folks from the Corporation of Haldeman County did here with their Haldeman Connections app. So without further ado, let's take a look at those steps, Minxie.
Thanks, Matt. So in my first demo, we're going to create a mobile app for the story map we see here on the screen of the Trans-Canada Trail point of interest. We will go into AppStudio on the website, sign in. And here let me just sign in again. I'll go to My Apps. And this will bring us to the dashboard of displaying all the apps that we've created. So we're going to create a new app. And on this page, it shows the template that we have for AppStudio. We have the Map Tour, Map Viewer, and the Quick Report. So because our app is based off of the Story Map Tour, we're going to start with this template. And this page we have here is basically the customization of the app. We can give it a title, so TCT, Point of Interest. We can also add a summary. But we have also the thumbnails, which we can customize, the splash image, and the app icon. What we want to add is our map tour. So we can go into the map tour settings, choose the map tour, and you can choose from your content or your organization content, or in our case, we want the TCT, the Trans-Canada Trail map tour. So search for that, and we'll pick the most updated one. Click OK. Save and finish. And right now, it's loading. It is our app is being made. Once the app is done, it'll bring us to the console page. But what now? We can't see the app, but we want to see it before we publish it. So we go into what Matt mentioned earlier in AppStudio Player. Make sure we've signed in. So I'm going to sign in here. And I like to refresh my apps just so it clears whatever cache I have. And click on this one, and it asks if you want to download it. Yes. OK. Click on that and open the app. So here's the splash screen. We'll get started. And what you see here is the story map tour being compiled into a mobile app. You can toggle through the points, and it'll position you to the points. You can see it in list view. So you have the image, description of the point. And I'm pretty satisfied with the map here. So let's publish this app for people to download. So we go to Build App, and we can see that just now our license key was generated. And what this is a license key is generated based on the individual ArcGIS Runtime Lite license key. And this is free of charge. And what this do is remove the watermark we can see here in the player. So that just removes the watermark. And we're going to build the app with Android. And with Android app, they are packaged into an APK file, and which is what this AppStudio build app is for. And to have the APK uploaded into the Play Store, we need to digitally sign the app with a certificate. So we go here. And here it asks for a key store file. And to create a key store file in the quickest way and with no charge, we can go into Android Studio. So once you download Android Studio, just open an empty template, go to Build, Generate Sign APK, and here you have the key store path where you're going to save the key store file. And notice that the key store file is in .jks. So create new, enter a password for the store file. For the alias, that would be kind of like the username to authenticate you to update the app. And leave the validity as default. Enter my name. Unit, I'm just going to put Dev, Esri, Canada, Toronto, Ontario, and country code Canada. So hit OK. And you can see that's all populated, the password and the alias. Hit Next. Leave everything as default and click Finish. And you can see down here, it is currently being generated. So just be in a moment, something will pop up. So here it says the APK signed APK was successfully generated. Go back into here, and we can either change the package name, and the package name is basically the name of the APK file that would be stored in the whole Google Play Store. But we'll leave it as it is because we want it as unique as possible. We'll find the Android app and browse to the JKS file that we just created. Enter the password, username, and password. Hit OK and check mark. So we're going to hit Build, and this will generate an APK file. After that, we are going to go into the Google Play Console. And I already have the draft for this app created. Usually when you create an app on Google Play, you go to it'll pop up into the store listing where you put in the title of your app, the description. You can add some screenshots of your app. So I have some here, the icon, feature graphics. You'll also have to categorize your app, and I left it as travel and local, and you need to rate your app. And before the content rating, you actually need to update or upload your APK file. And to do that, you would go into App Release. And I already have it uploaded, but this is where you would upload your APK file that was generated in here. So it's currently still running. So let me get back into the Google Play console. And I just want to briefly mention that before having your app uploaded to the Google Play Store, you'll need to fill out certain forms. So these are the forms that are indicated in the gray check marks. When it's green, it means it's completed. It's really neat that when you hover over certain gray check marks, it'll tell you what you need to complete before actually publishing the app. So let's see, 75%, 80, and we'll just quickly. I just want to demonstrate that you can download right from this web page the APK file, and you plug it into the Google Play Store. So that's something that you don't need coding involved to have your app published. So 97 and come on, 100. So that's ready. Whew. Why is it stuck there? Maybe if I toggle around the page. Well, basically after this is done, you would have a download button. And when you download it, you would have this APK file, which I don't have. So generally speaking, if this would work, you would have an APK file from the web, and you can plug it right into the Play Store. So that is how you publish an app. And it usually takes around 2 hours for the uploaded APK on Google Play Store to be available to the public. And seeing that this is not finished, we'll hand it off to Matt.
Great, thanks, Maisie. So we wanted to demonstrate sort of the end-to-end there, right? So we started with a story map that runs in a web browser. And then we really wanted to take a story map, wrap a native application around it, and put it in the App Store. So what did we need to do that? Well, we needed just our named user, our ArcGIS identity. We went to appstudio.arcgis.com. We pointed to that web-based story map and made a map tour AppStudio template app from that story map. We then built the installation files, and then we take the installation files from AppStudio and essentially create a listing in Google Play and add the APK file to Google Play and set a bunch of settings, and we were off and running. We were able to do that with really not too much software, just our ArcGIS identity, $25 for Google Play, and we also had the Android Studio to follow through the couple steps, but that's a free download as well, right? So we wanted to give you a feel for end-to-end, getting yourself a mapping product inside a native app and out to an app store. And we did that for Google Play. This slide just talks about the Apple App Store. It's a little bit different. Apple wants to charge you $119 Canadian a year to be part of their developer program. And the interesting thing about getting the installation files from AppStudio into the Apple App Store is you do actually need a Mac to do that. There's a little application that only runs on a Mac. It's called Application Loader. It connects to your iTunes Connect account, and you essentially walk through a wizard in this thing called an application loader. You take the installation file that AppStudio gave you, walk through the wizard, and now it becomes an app in iTunes Connect. And it does require a Mac. If this is all confusing to you, we're going to give you a PDF of this presentation, and there are about 16 or 17 slides that go through the details of going to Google Play and the Apple App Store. It's a little bit too boring for us to kind of walk through each of those slides in the hour that we have, but just know that you're going to get a PDF from us with the detailed steps of getting an AppStudio app to both of the app stores. Perfect. Okay. All right, now we're going to build upon the simplistic thing first, and we're going to introduce AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard, which takes the simplistic thing and adds more capabilities to it. So, AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard. How do you get this? And Minxie's going to demonstrate what Standard gives you. The first thing you do is you get a developer subscription, and you need to get that at the builder level and above. I'll show you a screenshot in a second of what the website looks like where you get the sign up for the developer subscription. So it includes all of the basic level features plus the ability to do a couple of other things, and that is essentially create apps and customize them, extend them, write code inside them. As well as instead of just kind of going to the App Store for consumer-friendly apps, but be able to publish apps within your enterprise. So AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard. This is just for you, the app builder, the license. It's not, you don't have to worry about it particularly for the end users. When we say you need to get an AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard license, that it's for you as the builder, not for your end users, okay? Just so that that's clear. So the website, when you go to developers.arcgis.com, under the pricing section, there are 5 different levels to getting a developer subscription. Starting at the builder level is where you get AppStudio Standard, and then of course up through Professional, Premium, and Enterprise. When you sign up for at least the builder level of developer subscription, you're basically going to get a license. And I just skipped over one. And the license looks like this. So when an administrator logs into your ArcGIS Online organization, they'll go to your name, and then they will apply that AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard license to your named user. And again, this is just for you, the human being who's building the apps on behalf of your end users. Your end users don't need to know anything about this, just you for the builder. Once you're set up there, then you go to the download page for AppStudio for ArcGIS. On the left-hand column is the AppStudio for ArcGIS Desktop Edition download. So you as the builder are going to go here, click one of those 4 buttons on the left, depending on what operating system you have. And now with your AppStudio standard license and the desktop application, you're ready to go beyond what we showed you in the first demonstration. Yay. Okay, so let's go here. I'm going to mention one. No, I'm going to mention it after the demonstration, actually. So we're going to now turn it back to Minxie to take you to the next steps, which is AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard. Minxie.
Thank you, Matt. So up until now, we created an app on the web, and everything was just done on the web. But we can do much more with the template in the AppStudio desktop version. So we can allow users or mobile users to access a map when they don't have like mobile data or access to Wi-Fi. And let's just hop right into AppStudio Desktop. So you can see in the AppStudio Desktop, you have the forums, the dashboard, and the dashboard has the app that we made in the previous demo. And then we have the control panel here. And let me just sign in first. There's a lot of signing in to do when building an app. Sign in. Oof. There you go, I'm all signed in. And let's just create a new app. So what we want to do right now is to create an app that can view our web map as well as our offline maps. So let's hop into template. There's also like starter templates where you can just start off with blank. You have the templates to build up on, templates of layouts. And there's also source codes. And here, this is really neat. We have the Enterprise tab where we can build our app based on one of Esri products, like Survey123. But let's go to the template and go to Map Viewer, give it a name, Trans-Canada Trail, and create. So right now, it's creating. So we have this map created, or this app created. We'll go into Settings. And it's loading here. So in the settings, you can customize the thumbnail, change the title, the summary, but let's not worry about that and go into the Map Viewer properties. We have the Start Screen Customization and such, but we'll go into Gallery to identify the map we want to show. And here we can query the map based on the map ID or a tag of that certain web map. And what I want is this web map here, the Great Trail. And the ID you can find would be located at the top. I'm going to go into the map query and just type in the ID in this syntax and simply hit apply. I'm going to close this setting, going back to the AppStudio Desktop, and just run it. Just double click it, start. And this map takes a while to load because it is the entire map of the Canada. And we have the info of the map. We have the legend information that was transferred from the web map. And then we have the content, so kind of like the trails. And the trails, trails, features, and we can toggle through it. So we can be like, oh, disappear. We have the measure tool, which is new. Let's just zoom in on an area and select that. And that gives us an area at the bottom. Clear that. The basic base map changes. And you can also go to bookmarks. And the bookmarks you created in the web map can be transferred into this mobile app. And here we can see more of the features. We have the trails, the parking lot, and if you click on the trail, you have the attributes information attached to the trail. Here you have the description of the trail. So everything is pretty cool and neat, but what about the offline capability? How do we put the offline map into the same app we have here? To do that, we need to go into ArcGIS Pro. And right now I have a project open with two maps. We have the Great Trail map and the Ottawa-Gatineau map. So in the Great Trail map, we have a base map of Canada, and this is created in vector tile package. So we do that because it's just faster to render. We have the trails and the feature with the name and other attributes. And if you zoom in closer, you can just see the endpoint. So that's really neat. But the next map we have here is a more detailed map of a segment of the Trans-Canada Trail. So this would be the Ottawa-Gatineau segment. And if you zoom in, you can see all the beautiful the topo-based map we have here, all the information, and the features of parking lots and point of interest with the description. And we created this by just buffering 1 kilometer out from the trail. So let's package this into what we call a mobile map package. Just search that, create mobile map package. And it already input the map as the Great Trail we have here. So that's good. We want to package this. We will locate an output, so we'll put it in my desktop and just name it Canada. We'll leave everything here as default, and you can see here that the title, the summary, descriptions, tags are all populated from the metadata of this map project. And I just want to emphasize the tags here, that we want it to be specific and unique, and you can put as many as you want, because what we're going to do in the app later on is to search the offline map package through the tags. And here, this is important, we enable the anonymous use, which means that anyone can access this app, or anyone can access this offline map without signing into an ArcGIS online account. And this is only available in the with the publisher extension with ArcGIS Pro. So let's just hit run. And if you need more information about this tool, you can just click on this, and it'll bring you to a help document page online. So let's hope this actually runs and it's quick. Should be really quick. Come on. So let this run. See? Oh, yay, successful. So we can click in here and see that it only took around 22 seconds. That's super quick to just package everything up. And if we go into the file, so this is the Canada map package we created, and it's around 10 megabytes. It is totally perfect for a mobile phone to store this file. So we have this map package, and what we want to do is share this package to everyone, because we want everyone to be able to access this. So we go share package. To share it, we use the share package tool, input the package, and that was the package that we saved on my desktop. And here we see the summary, the tags, and we want to show it to everybody. And I can hit run, but I'm not going to hit run because I've already uploaded, and you can see that here. And I also have the Ottawa-Gatineau map uploaded onto my account, and it's for everyone to see. And uploading Ottawa-Gatineau was the same. I went through the mobile map package tool, and then I went through and shared the map package. So that's good. Well, let's see what we could do with them. Let's go back to AppStudio Desktop, go into Settings, and here, just jump right into Map Viewer Properties, Gallery, and we'll add the tags here. So I have it down as the Great Trail, Trans-Canada Trail, and Canada. That's good. I'm going to leave Support Secured Map as just off, because this basically tells the user to sign in, and we don't want that. We want everyone to use it. We want the map gallery to show both online and offline map, and just hit apply. Close that, let's run this, start this. And this access and use constraint pop-up is just here, basically a reminder to tell you to upload your map, or your app. And we have here the web map. So this is the web map we had earlier. And what's new is the offline map tab. So we go into that. And I already have the Canada offline map downloaded on my computer, so it recognized that. We can also click on download and download this Ottawa-Gatineau. Click OK. And let's take a look into this Canada map. So yeah, we have the polygon of Canada, the trails. And as you click on the trail, you can see that the features also got transferred into this mobile app. So that's pretty cool. We can also add graticules. Let's just go Latin long. And notice the labels on the side. And it just accommodates to the zooming in and out of the map. So let's view the other map. Go back to Gallery. AutoGATNO. Let's go zoom right into what we are familiar with. So you see all the topo base map. We have the features, and you click on it, and the same thing. The attributes are attached to it. So I think, oh, one more thing. To publish the map, you would just simply hit make, and that would generate the APK file that I was trying to generate before. And this is just done on desktop. And the process is identical to what I filled with the key store files and signing your Android app. And yeah, I think that's it. Matt?
Thanks, Minxie. Let me just get to the right slide here. Okay, so to summarize where we're at so far, Demo 1 was the simplest number of moving parts to put an app in the App Store. And you really just needed an ArcGIS identity to make that happen. You went to a website, you created an app, you pointed it to a story map, a web-based story map, and then you use the AppStudio build function to create installation files that then you uploaded to Google Play. Cool. A pretty simple set of steps to actually get yourself a presence in an app store, just like Haldeman County did. Second demonstration was we signed up for an ArcGIS developer subscription at the builder level. That gave us an AppStudio for ArcGIS standard license, which allowed us to then take AppStudio Desktop, which is the desktop builder application. We downloaded that. We then built a map viewer template app out of that pointed to a web map. So if we had an internet connection, all is well, right? That just works. But in the event that we didn't have an internet connection and that we wanted to have offline data that was local to the device, we then configured that map viewer template using the standard license to consume mobile map packages. How do you get a mobile map package? Well, ArcGIS Pro to the rescue, right? It's the application you use to bundle up your maps into mobile map packages. So we configured the map viewer. We had those mobile map packages, and we shared them publicly with ArcGIS Online, and we were able to consume those in that map viewer templated application. Minxie finished the demo there, but she could have hit the Cloud Make button in AppStudio Desktop, and same thing would have happened. She would have used her sign-in credentials from Google to create an APK file that would be that map viewer template that she would then publish to the Google Play App Store. Let's just give me 1 second here. So a brief word about this. So many of you will remember ArcGIS Publisher from the ArcMap days. ArcGIS Publisher still works the same way in ArcMap, but it has a new capability built into ArcGIS Pro that allows you to flag mobile map packages as public access, meaning you don't, the end user of your application does not need to be a named user. They don't have to be known to the ArcGIS platform. So with the Publisher extension, it gives you that little checkbox that says, hey, allow anonymous access. So anybody with a public-facing app, if you've built that into the map viewer template, you can essentially download mobile map packages. The end user can, and they don't have to be known to the ArcGIS platform. So that's just a little bit about the Publisher extension. It's new and improved for sort of these modern workflows, which we have shown you. Okay. So let's go right here. And the final section of this is if AppStudio Basic doesn't tickle your fancy, then you've moved to AppStudio Standard because you can do a few more things with AppStudio Standard. And we always recommend do the easy things first. Do what we demoed in demo number 1 first. That doesn't meet your requirements. Do what we did in demo number 2. And if demo number 1 and demo number 2 are just not convincing enough, you're like, you know what, I've got to tweak things. I really just have to tweak things. Well, we're going to give you now a feel for what you can do with respect to tweaking things and how you might code things, okay? So a couple slides on sort of a developer's view of AppStudio, and then Mingxi will give you just a feel for what that looks like with a hands-on demonstration. Okay, so native app development. So if you are someone that needs to go beyond the templates, typically building native apps, you know, it's cumbersome, right? You want a presence in the Apple App Store. You want a presence in Google Play. Typically, you are writing a couple different code bases to do that. Or maybe you're using a solution like PhoneGap, which is kind of write some JavaScript code, and PhoneGap will compile you native apps from that source code. Well, AppStudio is kind of like that too, right? So we'll just kind of go through that. So if you look at this sort of Venn diagram here, upper left is AppStudio Basic. It's what we showed on the website, where you're doing some very light configuration of 3 predefined templates: Map Tour, Map Viewer, and the Quick Report template. Okay, we recommend you do your research and see if those will suffice. At the bottom of the diagram, AppStudio Standard, we just showed that. And AppStudio Standard and AppStudio Basic, they're really on the back end built using the ArcGIS runtime. And in this case, it's the Runtime SDK for Qt, or Qt, as we say. And the developer's view of all this is pretty incredible, right? You have demo number 1, demo number 2, all straight up configuration, no code. Wow, that's pretty incredible. But the developer view also, because this stuff is built on the Runtime SDK for Qt, we're able to leverage a bunch of things. So we give you some templates and samples. This is the lower right of the slide right now. We give you a powerful IDE called Qt Creator, a testing framework, and all the build and deploy stuff that you've seen previously. Mingxi had kind of quickly shown that samples tab in the AppStudio Desktop application, and we're going to kind of go back into that in just a couple of minutes here. Also, Esri has negotiated a sort of an embedded license of Qt Creator with the Qt company, right? So when you get your AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard license, you get Qt Creator, which is your integrated development environment. It has cross-platform support. It has IntelliSense. You can run the AppStudio Player app from Qt Creator, do debugging and that kind of thing. So that's kind of neat. Qt Creator, for the purposes of AppStudio, and for most of you on this call, you are going to be doing something called QML or Qt Meta Language. Lower left is the markup, almost like when you do HTML markup, but it's kind of JSON style markup. And we'll demo this in just a couple of minutes. The right-hand side is you're actually writing JavaScript code in the code behind. So when you click a button, the syntax and a lot of the patterns are the things that you're used to with JavaScript. So that's kind of nice, right? And we'll give you a feel for that very shortly here. With the AppStudio player, what's really cool about this is you can code, you can upload the app, and with the AppStudio player, you can see the changes in your code on your phone within seconds. So that's kind of nice, right? So you make some changes in the code. You want to get a feel for how that's going to look and feel and perform on your phone. Well, you just continue to use the AppStudio player. All right, so let's go here. So the third demonstration Mingxi is going to show you is using Qt Creator, and we're just going to give you a very light look at the code. And to set this in context, the end user app that we're building via code here is really an app that goes in the App Store that when the user downloads the app, bundled inside the app is that Canada mobile map package, right? So they download the app, it gets installed on your phone. You could go into airplane mode, and the mapping data, courtesy of that Canada mobile map package, is actually on the phone. Very cool, right? So it's all local on the phone. If you have an internet connection and you want to download individual mobile map packages like the Ottawa-Gatineau one, then we're going to build the ability to do that by clicking on a trail, showing a little call out, clicking a button on that call out, and downloading a corresponding mobile map package. In this case, we'll show you the Ottawa-Gatineau one. You can imagine for the Trans-Canada Trail, that Ottawa-Gatineau mobile map package is 100 kilometers of trail, buffered by 1 kilometer, and has a lot of detail in it. It's got parcels, building footprints, points of interest. Lower right of this slide, under details, it says 15 megabytes. That's the size of this mobile map package. So for Trans-Canada Trail, you'd need a bunch of them, right? So you'd take, you'd chop up the trail, let's say, in 100-kilometer sections, and have a bunch of mobile map packages that you host publicly in ArcGIS Online and have an app that is able to download those. So that's the context. So let's switch over to Mingxi. She's just going to give us an overview of the Qt Creator, essentially, that you get with AppStudio.
Thank you, Matt. So this is what Matt was talking about. We have the Maps Canada, the trail we saw earlier in ArcGIS Pro, the map package. We can click on it, and once we selected a feature, it pops up this call-out bubble. We have the trail name, and if you click on the information button, it is currently downloading, and it downloads the map package we uploaded of the Gatineau, Ottawa. And going further, you can see the trails, the parking lots, and the point of interest. That's really cool. So that's the end product of this demo. What I'm going to do right now is to start you guys off with the simple, basic coding behind it. So we'll go into New App, go into the sample code, and because we're interested in offline map, we'll pick a category of offline, obviously, and choose the Open Mobile Map Package. Create that. So we have this created. What does it look like? Let's just quickly hit Run. Here, let me just readjust this. So in this app, we have the Yellowstone Park. We can zoom in and we can see just the map features, the points. There's also an About button, so the description of the map. And down here, there's a toggle between like the map package we see here and the raster map package. And so this is new. This is a new feature added to AppStudio. So what can we do behind it? We'll simply go into Edit Qt Creator. And so this is the integrated Qt Creator that's integrated into the AppStudio. We have the project structure right here. And you can see a bunch of codes. We'll go into Control and just take a look at the code behind it. So this is the code behind the description page. We have a component, the characteristic of the component, so it could be a rectangle, the image height, the text color, and let's just change something really simple, like change its color, the background color, to orange. That's not how you spell it. Orange. But what else can we do? We can also, because right now it's the Yellowstone map package, we should direct our code, or command our code, instruct it to have our Canadian map package. So go into File System. And remember earlier what Matt said, that what we're going to create is an app, and inside the app we'll have our already downloaded MMPK files located. So to do that, we go into the data where the Palm Spring Yellowstone map package is already there, show and explore, and just grab our Canada map package. Copy this and paste. So right now it's all bundled into the app. And we have that bundle. We need to let the code know to grab the Canada one and not the Yellowstone map package. Type that in. Something I forgot to mention, which is well, we can see here, it's the watermark. And I mentioned briefly about it in the first demo, but here I can show you how to remove the watermark in AppStudio Desktop. You can just simply go to Settings, Advanced, and here we can just set license. Oh, and yes, it prompts me to sign in. So that's generated. Cool. Close, apply. And okay, I just explained a bunch of stuff. Well, what does it look like now? So let's run it. Oh, I didn't save the file. Let's just get back here. So I need to save. You can hit File, Save. And you can see the star asterisk here. That means that these are files that you've edited and haven't saved. So let me just do that really quick. And we can hit Run in the Qt Creator too. So we can go to External, AppStudio, and run. So a lengthy process to just run the tool. So we have here the Canada map. So the Yellowstone map is gone. We changed the color to the description page, and you can see that it's bright orange. Wow. Also notice that the watermark is gone. You can't see it here anymore. So that's all done behind the scene in the code. So that's cool and everything, but how do we get to what we had before, like what this demo was? So to do that, we want to go into the MMPK QML file, and you see here we have the map view. And like, what is a map view? So if you hover over it, the description of it briefly, just a map view that renders the data and the map and allows the user to interact. And you can go even more detail by hitting F1, and this is the help document integrated in the Qt Creator. And what the demo we had, the final product we have there is basically we click on a trail and it signals to the feature and pops up, identifies the features and pops up the information. So let's just go into GeoView, Signals, and go to mouse click. So that's the event we trigger when we interact, when the user interacts with the map. So let's just do something really simple here. We'll go on, mouse click. We'll have the QML file tell us the location of our mouse clicked. So let's just do this. So remember to save that, Control S, and let's run that. Alt Shift R. There we go. So let me move this over. Oops, I lost my screen. So we have here. So this is the map, and what I mean by on mouse click is when I click on it, you can see that QML is spitting out the X and Y in respect to the app window here. So this is essentially the beginning with the on mouse click event, and it identifies the feature, and the feature would respond by telling you the trail names or the attributes of the feature you click, and then a call-out button that was demonstrated before. And if you need more help, so what we added in the final demo is like this function called callout, and you can look for help documents in the integrated help docs in Qt Creator, or you can just go online and just check what the properties are, and as well as some sample codes on how to use this callout method, so the bubble we saw earlier. And where it provides, so now I showed you how to set up and add, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna redo that. So I showed you how to start off and build an app, and this is kind of like the beginning steps to just add more customization, and you can go nuts with all the code. And I'm gonna hand it back to Matt.
Thanks a lot, Minxie. Let me just set up my slides here. So we're just about out of time. So that was demo number 3, which was if demo number 1 and demo number 2 just really didn't convince you, then you needed to go deeper and deeper, that you get an IDE called Qt Creator with your AppStudio for ArcGIS standard license. And Minxie just showed you what the QML, the markup side of the code is. That's where she changed a background color to orange. And then she showed you 1 line of JavaScript code. Well, 2 lines with squiggly braces, right? She showed you how to get to the help, the embedded help, and how to capture an event, in this case on mouse clicked, and log it out to the developer console, right? And this was just in context of the app that we were eventually building, which was the ability to put an app in the App Store that has a mobile map package already inside it, and that people can then click on a trail and download an individual mobile map package from the internet. If they go into airplane mode, then they have everything on the phone. So because AppStudio is built on the Runtime SDK for Qt, she showed you just at the very end going to our developers website, looking at the Runtime SDK for Qt, developer help. There's a ton of code samples in there for that. If Qt is something, or Qt, that you're interested in and you want some training, I use Pluralsight. Here's a screenshot of a course, an online course, and I get Pluralsight as part of my Visual Studio subscription with Microsoft. So this is kind of developer stuff, right? So if you need some further training in like Qt fundamentals, this is a good resource. Pluralsight, it's called. So we're going to wrap up here. We've got just over a minute left. We got a bunch of questions. I just kind of want to summarize here. I think what we'll do is we will make note of these questions, and we'll just summarize them and send them out in a response. So in summary, then, 3 things. The easiest first, AppStudio for ArcGIS Basic. That's the easiest thing first, to get one of 3 different templated apps into an app store. AppStudio for ArcGIS Standard is where you purchase a standard license from us, and it gives you a bunch of added capabilities. And then we finally kind of looked at Qt Creator. If you are a coder and you want to extend these apps or start from scratch or start from a sample, we provide lots of hooks into Qt Creator. These are very important resources. AppStudio.arcgis.com. That's your landing page. That's where you'd go to further investigate all that we have showed you today. On GeoNet, there is an AppStudio community. It's very active, so if you've got questions or maybe you're doing some coding and need some help, that's a good place to go. You can follow AppStudio ArcGIS on Twitter as well. All of the samples that are kind of baked into the AppStudio desktop application are also available on GitHub. As well, there's an AppStudio YouTube channel. So there's a bunch of small videos that show you sort of the finer grained aspects of what we've showed you. And remember, you're going to get all these slides. You're going to get all this in a PDF, so you don't need to furiously take notes and copy down URLs and stuff like that. Yeah, some more resources. I always like to pay attention to that top one there, the blog. So I happen to use Slick RSS in Google Chrome, and I always get new blog entries every day from Esri. They're really important to pay attention to because you'll get new announcements about things in AppStudio or whatever aspect of the ArcGIS platform. We've got a couple of web seminars coming up, and there is a related training course coming up called Introduction to AppStudio for ArcGIS that will dive deeper into what we showed you today. Lastly, we'd like to say thank you. It's always a pleasure to come on these web seminars. It's a hot and humid day today here in Toronto, which we love. I get to wear flip-flops. We can contrast that with, I guess, Gander, Newfoundland, which I think has 40 centimeters of snow on the ground right now. Anyway, welcome to Canada. It's you never know what you're going to get, but hopefully you're always going to get something good from Esri Canada. If you haven't liked this, or you want to say hi, or you have a specific question, there's my email at the bottom, as well as Mingxi's. Like I said, we've got all these questions here in the Q&A, and we'll answer them in a follow-up email. So once again, on behalf of Mingxi and myself, and a hot and humid day in Toronto, we appreciate you folks attending, and hopefully we'll talk soon or see you in person at an upcoming Esri Canada user conference. Thanks again, folks. Take care.